So let me now introduce to you my mentor and friend, Kurt Kutsia. Kurt is also a serial entrepreneur, owning many businesses and has a customer base of over 500,000 people. He is extremely knowledgeable, obviously, with having a customer base that large. Kurt has mentored and taught me how to restructure my assets into trusts so that I am fearless from my creditors. He has taught me how to pay as little tax as possible legally. I have also learned how to create multiple streams of income through that produce passive income without me having to lay out huge amounts of money. If you want to be fearless like us, you need to take notes and listen to what Kurt has to say. So let me welcome Kurt. You can.
Okay, guys, I'm going to talk to you about the TREOC way, TREOC.com. What is TREOC.com? It's a foolproof wealth creation system that never fails. And it was founded in 1996. But first, before I continue with this, I just have to tell you, in terms of the law, that I'm not an advisor. I'm not going to give you any advice tonight. I'm just a risk manager and I'm an investor. And all that I'm going to do is I'm going to share my experience, and it will teach you how to become fearless, how to create wealth with other people's money, other people's skills, and other people's time. I will show you where to find these other people. So the topics for tonight are property refinancing, risk management structures, and the ultimate referral business. It's going to be very simple. It's not going to be too long, and I think you are going to enjoy it. But just a moment, I just want to make an arrangement here. Bianca, can you just call Alan on the logs and just hear if everything is fine on that side, because I cannot see the control panel now anymore.
Kurt, everything's fine.
Okay, guys, everything that I'm going to talk to you about tonight are properly recorded in the TREOC online course. The TREOC online course is a huge course, well, huge in terms of content and so on. It consists out of 19 chapters, which I will show you later what they are and so on. And there's no way that I can cover, obviously, everything in it. So I'm just going to use some snippets out of the course just to show you what it is about. Okay, I just received feedback that you guys hear me properly and everything is working fine. So now I can relax and enjoy the presentation with you. So let me just see, where did I go? There, yes, the online course. In the online course, we will teach you our way of investing in property with trust. That is mainly what we do. A specific type of property that we invest in specialized trusts. Why property? We like property and we know property. That's why property. And there's one thing that Warren Buffett said. Warren Buffett said that you should understand what you do. If you invest in something, you should understand it. That's why we have the courses and so on, and that is why Alan is teaching you about these projects and so on, so that you can have a good understanding of it. Now, the nice thing about property is we all understand it anyway. It is not a difficult thing to invest in. And then, obviously, the reason why we prefer property is because we know property. Just for the record, our financials of 29 February last year, 2016, last financials, showed that we have 2,421 houses in our portfolio with 1.6 billion rand. So I think that qualifies me and my team as property experts. We know what we do. We can build a portfolio, a huge portfolio, and we will show you how we do it. Why do we love property so much? Take a look at this. If you look at this graph, this is a property graph. This is what happened to all houses between 80 and 400 square meters in South Africa in the last 50 years, according to the South African banks. Now, guys, I think any commodity with a graph like that for 50 years is a commodity that you should invest in. Don't you think? Definitely. I mean, it is just growing all the time, most of the time. Oh, we had some hiccups. Take a look at that. But guys, if I'm not putting the arrow like there, you would not even perhaps have seen it. That was the recession. That was the last recession that we had in South Africa, all over the world actually, the world recession. They say it was the worst recession in living memory. Well, it shows you how insignificant the worst recession in the world was actually on property. It made no dent in it. The worst time in the property market for the last 50 years was actually there in the middle 80s, as you can see. But unless they put the arrows there, you won't even see it. So it shows you that in the bigger picture of schemes, property is the ultimate. Why is it? It's because it's a basic need of human beings. Guys, whatever you do, whatever business you do, whatever country you live in, whatever age you are, you need a house. You need a roof over your head. And that is what I invest in. I invest in the basic need of a human being. And that is why this graph here looks like it looks here. In the last 50 years, on average, according to the South African banks, property grew at 12%. Some years more, some years less. Last year, for example, it was only about 7%. So some years it grew with more. There was a time there in 2004 where we had a 32% year-on-year growth. But some years less. There in 2009, as you can see where the yellow arrow is, there we only had a negative growth. It was negative of 0.32%. But in the last 50 years, we only had 3 negative years of growth. It was 2 years in the middle 80s and in 2009. And that's all out of a total of 50 years. Excellent. That's why I'm property. I'm not just a property investor like you will find or read about in most property investment books that you'll find in the bookstores. I'm not like Robert Kiyosaki. I'm not investing on that basis. It'll take me too long to build these kind of portfolio. No, I invest in a complete different way. I use refinancing to build my property portfolio. And that is the reason why we today have so many properties in our portfolios, because of refinancing. If I can explain the refinancing to you with these lines just quickly. Obviously, there's no time to go into the detail, but I just want to show you quickly, and I hope you can see the cursor there. Let's start there with a dotted line on the top. The dotted line is the capital growth of the property. Let's say it's growing at 12%, what the average was for the last 50 years. So let's just keep on working on 12%. And obviously, I work with the bank's money. I'm not paying for these properties. Oh, well, I pay a deposit and I pay cost, but I use as much of the bank's money as I can. So that is the bond or the mortgage, whatever you want to call it. South Africa, we call it a bond. In Australia, we call it a mortgage, for example. Now, you will see then the bonds will be paid off after 20 years if we carry on paying it off, but that's not my intention to pay the bond off. I'll show you now what I'm going to do with that. Let's take a look at the two lines here at the bottom. The red line is the bond amount, which will stay the same unless interest rates go up or interest rates go down. Then the amount will go up and straight again, or down and straight again, depending on whether it's an increase or a decrease in interest rate. And that blue line represents then the rental income. The rental income is something that will grow every year thanks to inflation. Rent is just always getting more and more and more already for centuries. I don't think it will ever stop, just as the value of the capital growth is just growing more and more and more, as you saw on the bar graph that I showed you. Now, in the beginning, if you buy a new property in a townhouse in a new development, which is my favorite type of property, I like the small townhouses in new developments, 2-bedroom townhouses. That's my favorite property. Why? Because it's a basic need of a human being. Entry-level property. You see, we all have to go through entry-level properties. There's always a demand for them, irrespective of whether it's a recession or not a recession. But due to the fact that they are so high in demand, the prices are high. So you pay a lot for them. So therefore, due to that, the high prices, the rent is not enough in the beginning to cover the bond. Can you see that? So you have a shortfall. Now, many people are afraid of that shortfall, and then therefore they don't want to buy the property. But just simply because they do not understand it. That is all. The shortfall, there's nothing wrong with the shortfall. You should rather see the shortfall as an investment, as I will show you now. But take a look at what I do. And now you have to keep track of the things that I'm going to do here. I'll talk you through it. And then you will see how refinancing actually works. So what I do is I buy a property. I've subsidized the shortfall out of my own pocket, which is an excellent investment, as I will show you on the next few slides. It's an excellent investment. So then I carry on till I reach a break-even. Now, let's say, for example, it is after 4 years I reach break-even. That means my rental income is now, for the first time, enough to cover my bond payment and my cost in full. Now, when many people, for them, it is the ultimate moment, and that is what they want to achieve. For me, it is just the indicator or indication that I should increase my bond now, and then I increase my bond again. That's what you call refinancing. So I refinance the property. I take out, for example, at that stage, it can easily be 100,000 rand that I take out there. And the moment that I increase my bond with 100,000, I increase my bond repayment. And I create a new shortfall. And that's what people cannot understand. How can I deliberately create new shortfalls? And I carry on with this all the time. Now, guys, I discovered many, many years ago, like 20 years ago, I discovered that that second shortfall cost me nothing if I use the bank's money for it. The first shortfall comes out of my pocket, and the second shortfall costs me nothing, because always you can work it out. I will show you on my online course and my full day presentations exactly why. But take it for now. Take my word for now that 40% of the money that I borrow from the banks on a second loan, 40% of that money will be enough to cover all that shortfall. That means I'm making 60% profit, you can say, on the capital. Now, we at TREOC, we are the only people making money with capital on this basis. We refinance all the time. We repeat this process all the time, carry on like that, and we are continuously making money. So if we don't want to refinance anymore, if we want to make profits, then we can make profit. It's not a problem. You can stop it at any stage. But it's a very, very powerful way, this way, to boost the ordinary buy-to-let method about 20 times. So I can buy 20 times more and faster than a person following the ordinary buy-to-let method. The whole refinancing process with its accompanying software, as you see here in the bottom right corner here, be careful, use software and plan. We have software to manage this with. Software shows you when you can refinance. It shows you how much you can refinance it with. It shows you the next break even will be, all based on assumptions, of course, but at least then you can plan it properly and you can manage properly. And the whole process is covered in our online course. Is it worth it to do refinancing? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let the figures talk for themselves. So, for example, a townhouse of 700,000 rand. If you want to buy a brand new townhouse off plan, that's the way I prefer it, off plan in a new development. Buying off plan in a new development means it will take about 18 months to 2 years before you will take occupation of that property. So, in the first year, you don't have to worry about managing a tenant or servicing a bond. All that you do to buy that property is you pay a 20% deposit and 2% for cost. That adds up to 154,000 rand. You pay that to the developer, and then you wait. But in the meantime, from the day that you buy till the day you take occupation, or forever thereafter, the value is growing every year. If it grows at 12%, which was the average for the last 50 years per year, so if it grows at 12%, then it is 84,000 return on your investment already, which is 54% return on your investment. Guys, it is actually so simple. And I think actually it's the simplicity of everything that is baffling people. They cannot understand it. How is it so easy to make money? And you have to do nothing for this. Keep in mind now, I bought it off plan. The developers are busy now preparing the land, putting in the services, and then they will eventually start building. I'm talking sectional title here. So I'm not even building myself. They built it. I'm just waiting for my unit that I bought and already paid my deposit on to be completed. But in the meantime, the value is growing. It is growing every year, although the property is not even there yet. The value is growing of that property that I bought. Let's say, for example, I don't take occupation of this property 2 years after I bought it. Then by the time that I take occupation of this property, all my cost is already recovered, if that is the scenario. Because 84,000 times 2 is more than what I invested in this property, down at the 54,000 rand. So this is fantastic. Really, I'm not aware of anything else that is making this kind of money. Really. And it's so simple. Now let's take a look now at the third year. You took occupation now, you have to put the tenant in now. Now you have a shortfall. Your rent is not enough to cover the bond, perhaps. It's not always that you have a shortfall. I'm taking worst case scenarios here tonight. Sometimes the rent is more than enough. All depends on where you buy, what you bought, how much you paid, and all those things. And those are all the things that we teach you in the online course. Is how to identify the right areas, how to identify the right developers, how to stay away from the bad developers, how to manage the property, how to find the right tenants, and all those things, how to read the market, how to manage everything. We provide the service providers to help you with all these calculations and projections and so on. So let's say now by the time that you take occupation of the property, just to use figures, let's say the value is 800,000 rand, small two-bedroom townhouse. You see, that's what I'm talking about, small two-bedroom townhouses. So that's more or less what the townhouse will go for, 800,000 rand. And let's say your rent is 2,500 rand per month short. It's 30,000 rand per year. That's what you'll have to pay out of your pocket now until you reach the first break even. Only thereafter you can use the refinance money to pay for the future shortfalls. So right, so in the third year, you'll have to make a further investment. You already recovered your initial cost deposit and everything, but in the third year, you'll have to make a further deposit of a further investment of 30,000 rand in that property to subsidize that shortfall. If the capital value can grow 12% again, then it is 96,000 rand return on your investment, which you can take out with refinancing. And then a gross return is 320%. Ridiculous, I know, but it's true. That is how it is. That's what we do all the time. We have thousands of people in our club, our investors club. We founded this method, this system, already 20 years ago. We are doing it for many, many years. We have all the proof, all the testimonials, which we will share gladly with you. Okay, guys, I think you'll all agree with me that it is worth it to invest in property on the TREOC way, the TREOC basis, or the TREOC system of refinancing. The higher the risk, the higher the returns. Yes, I know some people will say, but this is risky. You are increasing the bonds all the time. You never pay these properties off. I don't care. It is like the goose that is laying the golden egg. I don't want to pay it off. I just keep it, and it is just producing capital growth for me. And that 100,000 capital growth that I get with refinancing, I take it out and I take it away from the property. So if the property market collapses in future, it'll have no effect whatsoever on my assets or my wealth or anything like that. So I want to show you how I do it. Making money is easy. That is the easy part. Anyone can do it. And guys, even with the project that Alan is sharing with you and so on. But what I'm saying is, with these projects, I have experience of it, is that you can make a lot of money. At the moment, we have in South Africa people making ridiculously silly money. So easy. And then they blow the money again. Guys, making money is the easy part. But I really suggest that you buy assets with the money that you make, so it can last forever. Because we do not know how long these projects will last. But definitely, what we know for sure is that houses, a roof over your head, that is something that is already lasting for thousands and thousands of years. People live in houses. They want a roof over there. It's already for centuries. So I don't think it'll go away in future. We're not going to live in a veld. Okay, so buy assets. So how do we hold these assets? Because if you are in these projects that we are talking about, the Bitcoins or whatever projects you are doing, then it's risky. It's definitely risky. Property is risky. Everything is risky. Refinance is definitely risky, guys. If we increase these bonds all the time and all of a sudden the banks increase their interest rates to 25% like they did in 1998 years, then you have problems. You have serious problems. And that can wipe out all your wealth. Or one of these projects that we are talking about, the Bitcoins or whatever projects might be declared a pyramid scheme by the government. The moment that they do that, then you have to pay back everything that you received out of them. And that can also wipe you out. So, at TREOC, we are experts in risk management. So we know all these risks, and I will show you now how to protect yourself from the risk. So if something goes wrong, then you will only lose that project. You will not lose the money or the proceeds, the money that you made from it, which is in assets at that stage. I see we have a question here. How you pay back the 154,000, which is the cost of 22%. Okay, let's just quickly go back to that one before we move too far away from it. I think it's a very good question. I just want to go back to that screen. And that was the one. How do we pay back that 154,000 rand? You see, the capital growth on the property is 84,000 rand. So with refinancing, I can take out that 84,000 rand. I will have a second bond on that property because the value grows. As long as the value is growing and as long as you can qualify for that bond, remember, always you have to qualify for the bond in terms of your income. So all those things are the things that we help you with right in the beginning. evaluate your position and to coach you and help you to do the right deals. But then obviously the theory then is you borrow another 84,000 rand, and that is part of your cost that is coming back in your pocket now. After 2 years, you recover. We're not really going to refinance every year. In theory, you can, but we wait normally 4 years or so, then we refinance the whole amount. So obviously, you wait a year or two before you take your effect over that. So when we refinance, there's cost involved. We want to make it worthwhile. But the point is, to answer the question that I just received here, is that the goal is to pay the cost back with the capital growth. So we increase the loan. That is what we do after a few years. And then we use that money. Okay, guys, let's continue. Let's go back to where we were. I hope that will answer the question. I know there will be many questions. Unfortunately, we do not have time to answer each and every one. But I rather suggest, Alan, since you are listening, send the questions through like you did with this one. And then at the end of the presentation, I will come back to the questions and address them. Okay, so how do we hold the assets? Guys, let me show you now our trust structures. The problem with high risk stuff and the danger that it can wipe you out is the fact that most ordinary people have all their assets and liabilities on the same balance sheet. That is the big problem, and that's what we have to stop. So if you have all your assets, your business, your MLM business, your MLM multi-level marketing business, your properties, if you have it all, for example, in your personal name or in a single trust or in a company, it doesn't matter. If it is in a single entity, in the same entity, all of it, and something goes wrong, for example, with that MLM business, then it wipes out everything. It is a domino effect, and it can kill you, and it can get you sequestrated financially. Kills you financially, not literally, but that's what I mean. So doesn't matter whether you had a problem with your assets or your business is an excellent business. If something goes wrong, it can just as well. I'm just starting here with the MLN business tonight, but it can just as well start with the property, with the refinance property. If it goes wrong anywhere, it can wipe you out, and that's what we have to stop. So 20 years ago, I designed or developed the ultimate system, the ultimate financial foundation, and that's what I'm going to show you now. Again, it's just a pity I have a short time to share it with you. I cannot go into all the detail, but I'll see how much of it I can share with you right now. So I want to share with you the effective separation of assets and liabilities. Because, guys, if you cannot just hide your assets from your creditors. That is fraud. That's a crime. So unless you do it in a legal way, then you have a problem. So what I do is I do it with a double structure, or double trust structure as we call it. So what I do is I separate my assets from my liabilities. The liabilities are at the bottom here. The lower end of the firewall, I have the family trust, for example, to use familiar names. So in my family trust, I have my assets. Here in my property trust, I do the refinancing. And with the money, the proceeds of the refinancing, I push that proceeds up to the family trust. Here with the trading trust, I push those proceeds up to the family trust, the proceeds of the family trust. So all the time, I move my money away from the danger, because these bottom trades, they are in, we have to take some risk. So it's high risk that we take. And as we make the money, we move the money. And according to the Trust Property Control Act of South Africa, if you move money from one trust to another trust, it is untouchable. The only problem and the only condition there is that the proceeds of the money must not be the result of anything criminal. So we will show you the right way of doing it in the online course. But I'm just sharing with you the short version tonight here, and it's actually just a theory. In practice, a lot is going to go into this. It's a 19-chapter course that you have to do first. And then you have to sit with my financial planners and my trust planners and my property planners, and only then you will have a safe way of doing it. But in short, this is what we do. So we separate the risk all the time with legal firewalls from the assets, from the family trust. In the family trust, you will never find property or any of these projects. No Bitcoin, no property, no higher stuff in the family trust. The family trust will never have a single creditor. And in terms of with the Trust Property Control Act of South Africa, we can structure it like that. If you have a TREOC structure like this, and something now happens in a trading trust, that's where you have the MLM business, then you see there's no domino effect anymore. The problem is contained there. It stops there. You will lose that business, and everything in that business will be lost. But everything that you made with that business over the years will not be there anymore. It will be somewhere else where it is legally separated from the risk. That is what you always have to achieve. And that's what we do at TREOC. That's what we specialize in. We have 2,474 trusts that we are administering at the moment with 1.9 billion rand. That's what they are worth. That is according to our financial statements of 29 February 2016. Let me share some trust benefits with you quickly. Full asset protection, as you can understand. Now, there are also a few other benefits. On death, for example, there will be no estate duty, no executor's fees, there's no cost on death, like capital gains tax or anything like that. So that means if you do not have these taxes, which is already 40%, if you add it up, 40% of your net value on your death, that is, and it's payable in cash, that normally wipes out any deceased estate. And that is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, why you are not today controlling the assets of your forefathers. They had to pay these taxes on death, or their estates, deceased estates had to pay it, and that wiped out the estates, because it means that your assets will have to go on auction to raise the cash to pay these taxes. And that is what is happening in South Africa and all over the world with every generation. And that is why people are not really getting rich, not like the real rich and royals, it's because they have to pay these taxes. The real rich people do not pay these taxes because they use the trust structures. So yes, if you really want to create a legacy, you have to do it the TREOC way. There's no other way. And then also another benefit is huge tax savings if you go the trust route. Take a look at this now. You're going to like this. So I just used a profit here, for example, of 375,000. If you make a profit of 375,000 in your personal name, and let's say you're on a 31% tax rate, then it means that you are going to pay 93,000 rand tax on that. If you make that kind of profit in a trust, then it's even worse. A trust pays 41%, which is 153,000, 60,000, even more than what you would have paid your personal name. That's what people think. That is what the financial industry like to tell people, is that the trust is not good for tax because of the high tax rate of a trust, while an individual works on a sliding scale. And it can go as high as 41%, but it can also be a lot lower than 41%. It starts actually at 18% for an individual. The starting point of the sliding scale is 18%. So you see, you can be, as an individual, you pay a lot less tax than what you would have paid in a trust. That's what people think. That is what the financial industry want you to think. But what they do not share with you is the conduit principle of trust. And you only find it in trust. The conduit principle of trust is a very, very powerful principle. And it's only in trust that you find it. You will not find it in an individual's trust structure or a company's, only in a trust. The conduit principle of Solarsh says a profit that is made in a trust can be distributed to a beneficiary of a trust, which is you. And then the tax liability is distributed with it, and it is paid. The tax is then paid by the beneficiary and at the rate of the beneficiary. You understand? Let me repeat it again. A taxable income in a trust can be distributed to a beneficiary of that trust, and the tax liability is distributed with it, and it's then paid in the hands of the beneficiary at the rate of the beneficiary. So if you are on 31%, then it is back at 31%. So you're not going to pay more tax with the trust. That's the point I want to make here. So use the protection benefits of a trust, the asset protection, and don't worry about the tax. You're not going to be worse off with the tax. As a matter of fact, you're going to be better off with a trust in terms of tax than you would ever have been in your personal name. Because the conduit principle says also that you can split the income. You can split that 375,000 between different beneficiaries, and then a tax liability is distributed with it to the different beneficiaries, and then it is taxed at the rates of the different beneficiaries. So say, for example, a family of with 4 children. That's what they can do with 375,000 rand. The spouse can get 75,000. Child 1 is getting 75. Child 2 is getting 75. Child 3 75. Child 4 75. And if you do it like that, the whole thing is tax-free. Why? Because the first 75,000 in the hands of an individual is 100% free of tax. That's why. It's only when you earn, or when an individual gets more than 75%, that he pays more than 18% tax. Only that. I said it was a question in that regard also. So it works on a sliding scale. So now, on this basis, and that's the reason why I selected the 375,000, so that you can see that the spouse had 4 children, 100% tax-free now, because of the fact that the first 75,000 in the hands of an individual is 100% free of tax. And the reason why I chose 4 children is because I have 4 children. You can just imagine if you have now more children, like, for example, President Zuma's got 23 children, so you can earn a lot of money, 100% tax-free. And the beauty is, guys, that the money is going nowhere. The children aren't even aware of this happening, and you don't have to tell them. If the trust structures are set up correctly, then it is not necessary for them to know these things. And they are not really actually getting the money. They're going to get benefits. The money stays in that family trust. That's where it stays. We create this whole thing with book entries, and loan accounts are created. That is how it is done. So the trust now owes spouse 75. The trust owes child 175. Now, a loan account in the hands of an individual is an asset. We don't want to have assets in our personal names eventually. We want to have everything in trust. So therefore, it's always our goal to reduce the loan accounts as fast as we can. And now we will see another huge benefit of trust. The way that we reduce loan accounts, and it's the only time that you can do that, the only time in the whole tax cycle that you can bring personal expenses in to benefit in terms of your tax. Because now it works like this. Although the spouse did not get that 75,000 rand, and child 1 is not getting it, child 2 is not getting it, they are only accredited as loan accounts. But we want to work the loan accounts away. So how do we live? How do we work the loan accounts away? We just carry on living. So say, for example, the way that we do it is your family trust now will have a bank account. The bank account will be linked to your debit card, and the money is in that bank account. And the trust owes you 75,000. So every time that you use that bank account, that debit card of that bank account, to buy clothes, for example, it's a repayment of loan. When you buy groceries, it's a repayment of loan. When you buy school clothes for child 1, it's a repayment of a loan. When you give pocket money to child 2, it's a repayment of loan. It's always personal expenses. It's always a repayment of loan. And eventually you're going to reach that point where the family trust is looking after you. That is the job of the family trust. It's taking care of your living expenses. It takes time, guys. You're not going to do this overnight. We take you through in a process, in a wealth plan, and we built up to a process. Sometimes it can take like 4 years. Sometimes it can take a year. In my case, it took me 12 years. 20 years ago when I started this, 12 years before I was 100% in the trust. So it takes time. All depends on how big your estate is when we start with the process to move you over to a complete trust system. And then when you're in that system, life is just a party. When you shop, it's repayment of loan. You just carry on living, all personal expenses. When you go on lunch, it's repayment of loan. And that's how we work the loan accounts away. So the whole thing was tax-free, and the whole loan accounts, all the loan accounts were worked away also. Fantastic system. It's a very short version that I'm giving you here tonight. It's very difficult to explain these things in such a short period of time. But everything, as I said, is recorded in our online course, which is 100% free for Platinum members of our team. This is what the course is about. I can quickly take you through this. I'm just going to show some of the highlights. Some of the very first things that we do is we move your existing assets into a trust. Most of it can be used into a trust without any cost. It's only property that has cost involved. But we have a plan for that also. So you will find it all in the online courses, how to save as much of the cost and do it 100% cost-free as far as possible. Chapter 12, you will see how to build the money-making machine. Now, what that is the refinancing process. That is for us the money-making machine, how to do it regularly and so on. What type of properties to... On Chapter 12, it was how to build the money-making machine. That is how to structure your refinancing, which type of properties to buy, and how to, and Chapter 14 then, how to approach the banks with the refinancing so that you can get the money easily and so on. Refinancing, by the way, guys, is a lot easier. It's a lot easier than the first financing. Okay, see, there's a question also, what do I consider assets? Asset is an income-producing commodity. That is an asset. There's a question now, what is an asset? So let me just elaborate on it quickly, what an asset is. Some people think that your personal residence is an asset. Guys, it's not an asset. It costs money. The definition of an asset is something that produces income, like a rental property. That is an asset. You earn rent every year on it. So all our refinance properties are rental properties. They have tenants in them. So they produce rent and they produce capital. And if you can take the capital out on a regular basis like we do, then that is an asset. That is what an asset is. So do we ever pay the bonds off? Not in a refinance property. You will see when you do the online course or the full day presentations, you will see we have another trust which we call the provider trust. In that trust, we buy properties, cash and content. with the proceeds of refinancing. So those are our buy-to-let properties. And that's something that we will elaborate on a full-day course or the online course. You will also find the detail. What I have to do now, want to do now, is I want to talk to you about our affiliate program, and I want to share that with you, how we do it, Now you will see how we produce the cash. Where do we get the cash from to pay the deposit of 154,000? Where do we get the cash to pay for the shortfalls, 2,500 rand a month or whatever the shortfall might be? Where do we get the cash to provide the cash flow that is required for the money-making machine? You need small cash or small money to make big money. That is how it is. So we want to get to the big money as soon as possible. Do the online course. Everything is in online course. Completed the course. There's a test at the end of every chapter. There's a test that you have to complete. You have to score 80% in that test. Yes, there's a high pass rate, 80%. Otherwise, the next chapter won't open for you. Remember, it's an online course. You do it chapter by chapter, and you can download every chapter. But only when you get to that chapter you can download it. And that's exactly what we want you to do. Download the chapter, read through it, work through it, then you do the test. So when you do the test, it is actually an open book test. You can look up the answers. That's exactly what we want you to do. We want you to use the online course as your manual. You need to know how to get the answers and where they are. And then you complete the whole course. Then we issue you with a certificate, and you are a qualified TREOC investor. We have a team of other people. Where do we get the other people that I always talk about to help you to become a successful property investor? Let me share with you the services of TREOC. Training, wealth coaching, trust services, real estate, property finance, property management, trust account, business capital, and the investor club. Guys, we have all these things. It's a one-stop service. You need nothing else if you are with us. We can organize your financing for you. We run your trust for you. We do your accounting for you. And then with the money that you make, you are going to do business also. So if you want to do that business that was always your ideal or goal or whatever in life, to have a butchery, for example, then we will help you even to raise the capital for that butchery. So we can do all these things. That's what we do at TREOC. And we are doing it already for 20 years. We have a huge investor club. With such a team and network, success is guaranteed. I think you will agree with that. If I ask you, will you tell your friends about TREOC? I'm sure the answer will be, of course you will. We know. We know it. How do we know it? The numbers is talking for us. That is why our club has more than 584,000 followers at the moment, because people talk about us. People tell their friends about us. We have followers, subscribers, platinum members, wealth masters. They are the people who completed the course, the online course. And then we have ambassadors. And that's what I want to talk to you about now, because that's our referral programs, ambassadors. After people do all these things, they tell their friends automatically about it. You can just as well get paid for it. You can start your ambassador business today. It's so easy to start. That's what I would like to talk to you about now, the compensation plan. I want to show you now how to create the cash to buy the property. So in a compensation plan, we have 3 downlines. The TREOC Voice referral system works on a linear system. It's not a binary system. It's not going into debt. It's going wide. It's going unlimitedly wide. You can make it as wide as you want. Only three downlines. If you have too many downlines and so on, it can easily be considered a pyramid scheme and so on. So from experience, we know that if you have 3 downlines, nobody frowns upon it and so on. And we are still making a lot of money from it. On the first downline, you get 25 to 35% commission on the commissionable amount as received by the company. On the second downline, you get 12.5% to 17.5% of the commissionable amount. On the third downline, you get 6.3% to 8.8% of the commissionable amount. And if you scroll down further, on that same page, you will get to the commissionable amount. Then you will see our commissionable amount is based on a pool sharing system. The accounted monthly turnover of TREOC Holdings, the whole turnover of TREOC Holdings, excluding joining fees. The moment that you pay commission on joining fees, it can be considered a pyramid scheme. So joining fees are excluded from our multi-level marketing. So right, turnover of TREOC Holdings, excluding joining fees, will be the commission pool. The commission pool divided by TREOC's total number of platinum members equals then the average commission due per platinum member. Ambassador's number of platinums times the average commission due per platinum equals the ambassador's commissionable amount. So that is the amount that you will get of that pool. And that is based on those percentages, 25 to 35%, depending on what your status is, which you will see also the detail of when you go on our website. The commission pool includes the following products and services income, amongst others. Membership fees are part of it, monthly membership fees. Seminar and event fees, when we do our big seminars and so on, like for example the one that we have on the 1st of February in Somerset West, in Cape Town, the fee for the seminar is a full day seminar. The fee for the seminar is 6,900 Rand, and we are normally fully booked on the big Wealth Master seminars. So there's a lot of income coming in from the seminars, and you are going to get your share of that. You share in advertising contracts. We do advertising from time to time for people. They pay us to do advertising for them, and then you share in that. It costs money to set up a trust. You share in that. Trustee fees, you share in that. Accounting fees. A trust must produce financial statements every year. Accounting must be done. So you share in those fees. And then the properties that our members buy, it's an investors club, so when they buy properties, we manage the properties for them and we charge a fee for that, obviously. You, as an ambassador, share in those fees too. And when we sell properties, because we sell properties too, remember, we do all the services for investors. So you get the portion of the sales commission. So what you then see here, guys, is that you are sharing in a fantastic super pool of products and services that any investor definitely automatically needs. You cannot be without these services. And we do it in trust. Now take a look at this. We do it. Everything is done in trust. A trust lives forever, for centuries. There's no end to trust. Therefore, when you start earning commission, it can be forever. Your children will carry on with it, and their children will carry on with it. You start a legacy of referral commission that you and your family will make just more and more and more money with every year, and so on and so on. So as you saw, we pay our ambassadors referral commission on 3 downlines. Just to give you an indication of what you can earn on 3 downlines. Now, to play with figures is very easy. I can show you ridiculously high figures here, but I think it's realistic to say if you put in the effort, then it is definitely very easy to get to a point where you have 100 platinum members. For example, I have 1,400 platinum members. Then we have diamond ambassadors in our group, a few of them already with hundreds of platinum members in their downlines. So you can do it too. It is just your effort that will determine how many you put in. Let's say, for example, you put in 100 platinums in your first level. And let's say, just for argument's sake, that they each sign up 10 platinums. And that those guys each also sign up 10 platinum members. Then it means that eventually, then after that, you will have 10,000 platinum members in your downlines, your total downlines. And that gives you a commission per month of 223,000 Rand per month. Fantastic. We have several 6-figure income earners already in our referral system. Maybe you will be the next one. We are doing it already for many, many years. We know what we do. We're experts in providing financial services and investment services to investors, to property investors. And then we make money out of that, obviously. And if you start using our service providers, you will also see that we are not charging high fees. We are charging very low fees. It's not necessary to rip off anybody with high fees and so on. There's enough money to go around to pay everybody. It's a fantastic system. That is why I call it a cash master business. It's because of the high cash earning potential that it has. It's a cash master business. We produce cash. You will become a cash master. Ambassadors can easily start their own cash master businesses. You can start it tonight with our popular startup manual. We have a 5-page startup manual for cash master businesses. And just a simple thing, just to get started with. It's not replacing the online course. It is not replacing anything else. It is just pointing you in either direction. To have the whole system, startup manual on 5 pages, show you actually the simplicity of everything. The 5 pages consist of things like, for example, a lead capturing page, a very professional lead capturing page. We have several of these pages, and you can select the ones that you like and use them. And when people subscribe on your page, then they are linked to your code, to your referral code forever. To just, as you can see, the business anybody can start right now. Sign up for your free startup manual. Your leads fill in their detail, and you get an email from our system telling you all their detail, the email address, and all the things that you build your database. In the startup manual, the second paragraph of the startup manual, you will also see how to manage your leads. You will see the funnel. You will see exactly how many, say for example, how many signups you had to date. On the right, you will see them in the last 24 hours, for example. You will see how many platinum members you already have, and you will see the commission due, for example. On 71 platinum members, your monthly commission will be about 5,000 rand per month already. Every month. Not just sometimes, every month. For as long as you have the platinum members, obviously, as long as they stay platinum members. And normally people stay platinum members forever. Because we manage their trust, we do their accounting for them, we manage their properties for them. In the same paragraph 2, you will also see where to get these lead capturing pages from which you can choose as many as you want. You can monitor them. You can see how many hits you get, like for example, that lead capturing page at 2,380 hits on it so far. It's just examples that I'm using here. You will see how many signups you get, and you will see what the conversion rate even is. So you will see which of them are performing better than others, and then you use the better performers. Like that one is performing at a rate of 7.9%. Fantastic. Anyways, then you have paragraph 3 of the startup manual, which shows you how to start a business, more detail. And then number 4, you get even more detail on how to start your business. Number 5 will show you how to make the money. Number 6 shows you your potential earnings, which I just showed you here. It is giving you access to our calculator where you can do your calculations yourself. And number 7 is how to monitor and manage the business. And number 8 is upgrade on this link and allow the money to flow. So all the links are in the startup menu, obviously. And then you click on those links. And then also we have the webinars, like tonight, where we just give the introduction to everything that we are doing. So what you do is, if you start generating leads, is that you invite those leads to the next webinar. You bring them here to the webinar. We have monthly webinars. Every month we have one. Tonight I'm a guest speaker on Alan's webinar. So, but we have our own. Right, download your startup manual from this page. I already showed you that. Ask your sponsor, the person who invited you here tonight, ask your sponsor for his or her link to the Cashmaster Business Manual. If Alan is your sponsor, then that what you see there is Alan's referral code. So those of you who are sitting ready with the cameras or screenshots, now it's time to make a screenshot so that you can get Alan's referral link. Because that's what you're going to need tonight to get in as a platinum member of the TREOC Club. If your referral sign up accidentally on the wrong referral codes, no problem. Just send a mail to services@treoc.com with all the detail of the person and so on, and we will fix it and put him in the right ambassador or sponsorship line. Obviously, guys, all these wonderful products, services, tools, and opportunities are only available to our platinum members. If you're not a member of our club, none of these things are possible. None of it. We cannot work with you. We cannot give you advice. We're doing consultations with you. Nothing. You cannot speak to any of my service providers unless you're a platinum member. And when you're a platinum member, all the consultations are free of charge. With my financial planners, with my attorneys, with my accountants, with my property managers. You will never pay for their consultations. You'll pay for their services, yes, but not for consultations. So what is the membership about? If you join as a platinum member, you get a lot of benefits. So join our club tonight and to get these benefits. Access to our online course, access to our cash flow projects, chapter 3 of the online course, where you will see that these projects can give you an income or a return of 10% per month. Number 3, third benefits, access to powerful refinancing methods, which can give you more than 100% return per annum. Number 4, unconditional life cover of 1 million rand for only 370 rand per month. That's a very important one. Unconditional life cover, meaning no medical, no questionnaires, nothing. Up till the age of 69, you can get 1 million rand life cover for only 370 rand per month without any medicals. Okay, number 5, as I said, access to the online investor software. We have software, dedicated software to manage your property portfolio with, and to plan your refinancing with. Number 6, access to professionally registered service providers, where you can get up to 30% discount on their fees. Access to everlasting specialized trust structures, making you untouchable. If you are on a TREOC way, no creditor can touch your assets, ever. Number 8, access to legal tax avoidance methods where you pay tax as low as 0%. Lower than that, we cannot do. Access to professional and legal opinions. First option to property sales. Access to the ambassador referral system, which I just spoke about and talked you through, where you can get commission of up to 35% of the commissionable amount, which is part of our pool. Access to Facebook lead generation system. It's a fantastic state-of-the-art system. The one where you generate your leads, the one that I showed you also, just one page that I showed you where you can really get thousands of leads in a very short period of time. 2 times newsletter every week. And then in short, when you're a platinum member, you get access to a proven wealth creation system founded in August 1996, more than 20 years ago already. So that's for 2 decades already. We've made more millionaires in the last 2 decades than any other system that I know of. And that's a fact. On our website, you will see hundreds of testimonials. There's a specific testimonial page where people give their opinions in their own words. Take a look at that. Guys, what we are doing normally, I don't know if Alan is going to do the same, but you have Alan's referral link now anyways. But Alan will, if you use that referral link, then you're going to get to the sign-up page for Platinum. So it's electronic, it's online, you fill in your detail online, you pay online. Normally, on my webinars, within 60 days, you get an email with a link on it. That's actually what I mean here. But on Alan's now already gave you that link where I said you should take screenshots. But if you get stuck, no problem. If you want to do it tomorrow, just send a mail to services@TREOC.com. If you want to become a platinum member in Alan's team, then services@TREOC.com, and my people are aware of the webinar. They know what we are doing at the moment, so they will put you in Alan's team. Yeah, you must just, in that mail to services@TREOC.com, just put it clearly in it that you were introduced to TREOC by Alan Solarsh. How much are you going to pay? That's the $1,000,000 question. It's not for free. You have to become a platinum member now. How much do you think you're going to pay, guys? 100,000 Rand? I think it will be worthwhile. If it only costs you 100,000 Rand to make all these millions, no, don't worry. It's only going to cost you 1,300 Rand to join the club and 288 Rands per month. That's all. For as long as you want to be a member. It's not a contract. It's not a 2-year contract. It is a month to month. For as long as you want to be a member of our club, you pay 288 Rands per month. So if you start using our services, then obviously you have to be a member of the club all the time. 1,300 Rand to join. That's all. If you join today, I have a special for you. Or let me rather say, if you join because of tonight's webinar. So even if you send a mail tomorrow to services@TREOC.com to help you with the joining process, which they will gladly do, the special will still be valid. If you join today, you get a free e-copy of my bestseller book, Rich Mind, Rich Man. So right, join our investor club. Special for this webinar only for this webinar, a free e-copy of Rich Mind, Rich Man. I think it's very clear now, and at this stage I can take a few questions. Okay, this is proper passive income. Yes, definitely. Oh, the sign up for free is just to be a subscriber. That is for free. You just go to the website and you just subscribe. That's for free. You do not really get benefits, but you get login detail and you get full access to the website. That's more or less all that you get as a subscriber. You have to be a platinum member to get access to the full benefits.
Okay, so I just wanted to thank Kurt for being on the webinar. So Kurt, thanks very much. I just wanted to interject there about Kurt's book. I've read all of Kurt's books, and they're absolutely phenomenal, everybody. So I highly recommend that you sign up, get that free ebook, have a read, and then also purchase his other books through TREOC.com. And just get involved with this opportunity, guys. Start protecting your assets. There's no point making money and then, losing it to the government if something happens to you and your family doesn't benefit from the wealth that you've created. So Kurt has done everything for us. He's paved the way for us. We don't have to make the same mistake that our parents made and their parents and all our forefathers. We now have the method to protect our assets. So you now have the information, and looking forward to making more money with you, everybody. So thanks very much for joining me, and Kurt, thanks very much for giving up of your time. I know your time is very precious, and we really do appreciate it.